Hey everybody. I promised y'all a video of going live and UV unwrapping a vehicle for you today. So my Maya crashed, whole bunch of stuff. Anyways, new car. So it's a different car than what you were seeing before, but we're done. Here's the car. And we're gonna unwrap this one today. Okay. So I am going to try to get myself out of the way the best I can here. And we're going to work through unwrapping this vehicle together, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is split my screen in half like this. And then I'm going to pull up my UV editor over here. So now we should have something like this, right? I've got my UV editor on this side, my 3D model over here. When you've got multiple screens, it's a little bit easier, but since I'm just streaming off of one screen here, we'll run the setup like this, okay? So I'm gonna walk through step by step, just my thought process of breaking down this vehicle, laying it out in the 0 to 1 space, getting it ready to export for paint, okay? Pretty low poly vehicle, right? Nothing too crazy. Something you guys should all hopefully be done with at this point. And then you can start this process, okay? So right off the bat, my UVs are pretty gross here. So I'm gonna go ahead and run the automatic mapping here from Maya. It's not great. I'm gonna kind of fix this up myself. So what I'm going to do is go through and sew everything back together here. And this is going to be a gross mess for a minute, but that's okay, because I want to go in and cut out everywhere that I want to create that that UV island, right? So this is on the main body of the car. We've got I've got a decent amount of little pieces around that I need to unwrap: mud flaps, exhaust, mirrors, headlights, these types of things, license plates. So we'll start with the body of the car. So the first step here, I'm just going to try to cut out the low-hanging fruit that are easy to attack. And I'm going to turn off the checkerboard so it's easier to see what I'm doing here. But I'm going to cut out just right along this edge here. And this is going to be let's see. I actually don't even need to cut here. I can just cut right along here. So I'm just cutting around the bumper for right now and the little excuse me, the little protrusion piece here. So cutting out the side of the car, okay? I'm gonna go to cut and sew, cut. And now I should have a shell on this half of the car, okay? We're gonna do something here though, where I'm gonna pull off a little bit of trickery, where I'm gonna mirror the whole vehicle. So I'm only going to UV half of my car right now, okay? So I'm gonna delete half of this whole vehicle right now. And then we'll go through and UV the rest of this, and we can just do half, okay? So right now, I've got this shell. I need to unfold this piece, right? We've cut it out. How's it going? Good to see you. So here's the deal, right? I've cut this out, but I haven't quite done anything with it yet. It's just a jumbled, folded piece of paper still at this point, right? Folded UV. So I need to take this and unfold this, okay? And now I should have something that resembles the part of the car that I've cut out, right? Similar function here. I'm going to cut out the hood here. So I'm going to cut and sew this and then cut. So I'm cutting out the hood. Now I've got this piece in my UV shell, right clicking and holding, going to UV, then UV shell. I can click this. This is the hood of the vehicle, right? So now I can modify, unfold this piece. And as I unfold these, I tend to just you know, unfold them and stack them out of the 0 to 1 space, right? I'm getting them out of the way so I know what I've done so far, right? Okay. As I'm moving along here, here's the windshield. We could unfold this, cut this out, so why don't we do that? Might as well. And then we can cut the roof out, so we'll cut here, and we'll cut the back window too. So we'll take these two edges, cut and sew, and cut these points. We should have UV shells for each piece here. We can modify and unfold these. Just move these out of the 0 to 1. We're gonna have to try to remember, so I'm gonna put these where they kind of belong here around the car, just to help myself remember what things are. So now we have this piece of the car that's kind of remaining. For me, I'm gonna take the underside of this, kind of easy to do here. The underside of the vehicle is pretty easy to just grab here, cut all the way out, all the way up into that point, okay? So let's do a cut and sew, and then a cut right here too. And then we'll take this shell. Actually, I forgot to cut the front out, so let's go back into our edge mode. Or we can use the 3D cut and sew tool, where you just double click. Make sure you're in edge mode first, then go to that 3D cut and sew tool. And I can click on that edge. Actually, I don't need that. I just go there, and then there. So that should be cut now. I can go to that shell now. UV shell, grab this, modify this, unfold this. Whole underside of the car right there. So, excuse me. We'll just get this out of the way for now. So we've unfolded all of this stuff, which is good. Last couple pieces we have are the bumper and the hood, the front of the hood. All of these I'm kind of planning on being the same color. It's kind of good to take a look at your reference too, and just take a look at what things are. I may end up just adding this or chopping this off here at this point, and then taking this face and unfolding this. I could end up sewing this corner back together if I really wanted to. I don't think that's going to cause a huge problem. It might. Like the look of that better. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And we can unfold this if we need to. I don't think we need to, but we can. So I should have this bumper piece here, this back of the car here, this side piece here. This one is not hard to unwrap. We just need to cut all four corners here, kind of like a box. We'll grab all these. We can cut and sew, cut there. Then I can take this shell, modify, unfold this. This is just the side, one of the bumpers, which is fine. Or not bumpers, the little side guard. Okay. Back of the car here. I might need to do a little bit of work to make this function properly, so I'm going to cut and sew a couple places here. I'm going to go here. And then probably here and here. And we'll cut there, and we'll take this whole shell and unfold this. So that's kind of the back of my car, right? Where are some good places to cut the UV, and where are some places to keep the same? Good question. I usually try to follow the biggest place where it's like an obvious cut is usually around 90-degree angle changes. Like when you try to unfold things that are at a 90-degree angle, it kind of has a problem doing that. Other good question. Once everything's cut out, how do I like to organize them? So once I have them all once we have everything unwrapped, I'll show you kind of my thought process in organization. So good question, but hold on to that thought because we'll get there. So I've unfolded the back here. Let's unfold the license plate underneath part here. We'll unfold this piece. We'll place this somewhere near that back bumper just so we know what's going on. Something like this. It's good for right now. And then we have, like I said, these bumper pieces, and this is going to be kind of interesting. I'm not quite sure how to cut these, but in reality, they're all going to be probably one color anyways. If I'm looking at how the car is painted, maybe not. But if I just unfold this, what does it look like? Don't love that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on these 90 degrees, I think, for this. Or just cut the corners, maybe. That could be worth trying. See if I unfold this here now. Kind of an interesting piece to try to unfold. But that is laying out a lot cleaner now. The only one that's struggling is this corner. That's a lot better. Okay. So you can see that unfolded pretty good there. If we check out how bad it's pulling, that's not horrible. I think that's going to be okay for what we're trying to do. Okay, cool. So when I click on this, the red and blue is if it's compressing or stretching. And I always get it confused which one is which, red and blue, but I think it will tell me right here. Stretched is red, compressed is blue. So if you hover over it. But that is okay for me right now. So the next piece is to unfold this bumper. So let's do the same thing here. We'll unfold this one. We'll just take a look at where we can cut the corners of this to help it unfold a little better. So we'll unfold this. It's this one that we need to cut. Maybe here. Yeah, in general, for sure. The straighter and boxier that UV is, the flatter it is, the better and easier it's going to be to paint. So, exactly. I want to do something here. Excuse me. So just cutting around some of these things, seeing if I can get this to unfold better. And in reality, I could probably do it like this too. See, that lays out a lot cleaner. Okay, and then I know that's the underside piece right there, which is fine. There are both those bumper pieces, and I think with that, I think I have the entire body of the car unwrapped, which is what I want. Okay. All right. So now that I have that, I can just mirror this. So I can go with my object here, I can go mesh mirror in the Z negative, make sure I change that merge threshold down because it's going to merge some of these verts back here that I don't want merged. So 0.01. And I can quit off of that. And now we're good. Okay. So that is UV'd. The whole body of the car is UV'd. Perfect. So now I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to shrink it down. I know I have to deal with that in a minute. So, but I know that's the whole body of the car. Okay. Then I need to get through here and start doing some of these other pieces. Now for the wheel, my thought process here is to just do one wheel and then I'm going to duplicate them all the way around. Okay. So in fact, right now, I'm just going to separate these wheels. We'll delete these out. We'll delete these ones. I'm just going to duplicate the one wheel all the way around. Okay. So here's the first piece of that tire. I can isolate this and just unwrap this really quickly. I do want to do something here though, because I think actually, I'm just going to keep that how it is. That's fine. It's not hurting anything like that. All right, let's unwrap this. So for this, I'm going to cut here and here. Actually, I need to sew everything back together on here. So let's go here. I'm going to cut. Cut there. And then just find one edge. Probably the one that's buried in the car up here. And I'm going to cut through here. And there's my tire for right now. It's not amazing. I don't quite love how that lays out. But I can try this. Okay. Here's my tire. Can do the inside. Don't really care what it looks like. Probably do the same thing. Find the same edge. Cut that one. Unfold this. Inside of the tire, there's the whole tire. Right, perfect. Now we got to do this fun piece. So try to UV this really quick too. Let's see what the automatic mapping gives me. I think that's honestly fine. I don't love how it did this. As far as all this stuff goes, just all going to be painting pretty similar colors. So there's the rim. I'm going to leave that for now. That's fine. It's not the most beautiful UV ever, but it's saving me time and I don't really care. Like, I just need to be able to see the front and this piece really. So I'm not really worried about the back looks like, or really even these pieces because they're inside. Like, I could probably even delete these because they all sit inside of the wheel. And it's just not wasted texture space. Which is fine with me. So, wheel done. Tire done. So let's put these all both together. Combine those for now. The wheel can go up there for now. Okay. Let's do some other parts here. I'm gonna delete the front license plate here, and I'm just gonna UV the back one, and then I'm gonna duplicate it to the front. So let's see here. So let's cut this. We'll unwrap this. Here's the back of the license plate, which I'm not super worried about. Let's get this straightened out. There's the license plate. Yeah, you could use the automatic mapping to unwrap some things and then use the sew. What you need to be looking for is just areas that it's just too much. Mainly areas like you saw on the wheel here where I had, it's not horrible. Like, this is all fine. This stuff's all overlapping, so I'm gonna need to kind of lay some of these out. And I could probably stack a bunch of these like this to help. Like, I could take all these and go stack similar shells, I think. So now I've got the wheel that has that shell. I could take all these and do the same thing, stack those. So now the wheel is something like this instead of having a bunch of different pieces, right? So really, when you do those cuts, it's just making sure that you have the pieces that you need to paint. Like this, I'm not super worried about giving a ton of space, just because it doesn't need it, right? Okay, so the wheel's good. We did the license plate, so that was good. License plate's good and out of the way. I should do these this axle piece here in a sec. Let's do the mirror. It's right here. We'll just separate this real quick, because again, I'm just gonna mirror all of these parts to the other side too. So we'll take the mirror. So I'm going to sew this all back together. Sometimes you can do this too. Although I'm not really worried about this being in different pieces. It's not going to hurt anything. So there's part of the mirror. Here's the back side of the mirror. I want to make sure things are relatively the same size. So there's the mirror. I think we've got mirror, car, wheel. Yep. Okay, cool. Let's do the handle real quick. Although this is already UV'd, so I'm not that worried about it, but oh no. Yeah. There's some kind of tricks of the trade when you're doing these UV maps that you learn the more you do them. So, but yeah, it's easier to just easier to sometimes automatic map and then sew some stuff back together. Unfold the handle here. So that's UV'd. Let's get one mirror done too. Delete one mirror. Let's UV one of these. So for this one, I think I might go like this with this. Kind of have two pieces of this mirror. Oh, I see. There's some weirdness happening here on my... So we'll go like this around here, cut there, and then we'll cut all these corners. So I should be able to unfold here and unfold here. And then have my... Oh, I'm toggling the whole car's visibility on and off with Control 1. If I have an object selected, I can toggle visibility with Control 1. So it just helps me isolate objects to see what I'm doing, so I can focus on them and unwrap one object at a time. Just makes it a little bit easier. There's the front and back of my mirror. Pretty clean there, which is good. That's what we want. Just move that out of the way for now. So we did. Do we have everything unwrapped except for the axle? Yes. This I'm not super worried about. Unwrapping, it's just gonna get painted one color. Probably same thing here. These can just stay how they are. So that's just fine. Mud flaps I do need to do, so let's unwrap those. To actually, these are already unwrapped. I'm not gonna paint anything crazy on these when they're already unwrapped. Yeah, I guess I could do it. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna move and sew. So when you move and sew, you can it will just snap things together like this. Let's just do the one mud flap. No, that's good. Like I said, just little tricks of the trade that you get by doing it more. So. Okay, there's my mud flaps. So now I can just start duplicating these things around or mirroring them across. So you just mirror that across the object, please. Thank you. And the Z. And then I can just copy paste these to the back. So now we got all the mud flaps done. Cool. Okay. Wheels done, so I could mirror this. Mesh mirror. And Z. Then I can copy these after I Duplicate those back here. Okay. Can mirror the mirror across, so we'll mirror that over in the Z. Can mirror the headlight over in the Z. Can mirror my handle over in the Z. Okay. We got the car all pieced kind of back together now. Mirrors. I do need to copy the license plate. Put it in the front. Okay. All right, I think we've got it all unwrapped except for these two pieces, which I'm not worried about. They're unwrapped already. They're just going to be black. So let's take this and move this away. So let's highlight everything here. Now we've got all these random pieces sitting everywhere, right? Except for I don't know. Oh, let's unwrap the exhaust real fast. I think that was the last. Where's that? Oh. Get everything organized and out of the way. So everything's unwrapped, which is good. Now we just need to pack it back into that 0 to 1 space. And then we can be on our way, right? So first things first, I want to pack the car in first, okay? Side of the car is the most important piece, right? I want to make sure this is right. I don't want to straighten those. I just want to make sure that that's lined up good. And then I'm going to try to put this somewhere that I can pack it, expand it, and give a good chunk of my UV space to the main body of the car on the side. Okay. I then have the hood of the car, which is going to need its own space too, right? So again, I just like to check where the tops and the bottoms of things are. So that's my edge that lines up with my car there. So let's rotate this around. Back here, I'm not gonna mirror this, so I'm gonna sew this back together and then re-unfold this. And we'll straighten these. I want to try to give hood enough space too. So let's go there. bottom of the car I'm not as worried about, so I'm going to move this over here for a minute. Bumpers need a good chunk. I can probably pack this in over here somewhere. Here's my front bumper. Or that's my other back bumper. There's both back bumpers. I might... Nope. I'm gonna leave the back bumper mirrored, which is good. Here's the front bumper. I might move the hood out of the way for a second. Put the front bumper up here. Okay, front bumper's good. This front grill piece I'm gonna sew back together, I think. Okay. lining up these UVs. I know I got to paint a little light that wraps around right there, so making sure that all lines up. Okay. Back of the car. Just the inside of the license plate cover, which I'm not super worried about. Do need to paint some tail lights on here, so I might try to make this a little bigger. Also just want to make sure it matches up with the back, because I think that needs to wrap too. Okay, cool. So there's the back of the car. Let's just get the wheels in here for now. Tires. License plate. Can get a little spot somewhere. This is a side bumper piece here. I just need these things to be straight for this. That's good there. I should have done that with both of these. Here, hold on a second. So tedious. Okay. Another side bumper piece here. This is the rear window. This is the windshield. Can give these some space here. These things can get replaced out again. So there's the front windshield. Okay. Back windshield. As you can see, this stuff just takes a little bit of time. You just got to be patient. Just be patient. It's like a puzzle. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You just kind of unwrap piece by piece, and eventually, before you know it, you're done. So this takes a little bit of time. Let's sew this back together here. So that's the roof of the car. The roof. Hood can go somewhere over here. Underside of the car, like I said, I'm not all that worried about. It's just gonna be one color, but still have to put it somewhere in here. Do have a lot of pieces still to figure out, so this is the license plate. What is this? Those are the mud flaps. Okay, mud flaps can get a little less space, but license plate we're gonna write something on, so we do want to give it some space here. Headlights. This is the underside of the, this is the axle and things like that. I'm not super worried about them getting a ton of space. Kind of throw them in for now. These don't need any space at all and just can get buried in the same color as this thing. So I'm just gonna stack them in there because they really don't matter. Okay. Couple more pieces here. This is the exhaust, which we did not. Oh, actually. this out of here for a minute. We'll just stack these. Come back down. Really not worried about those all that much. This is the mirror, which I'm slightly worried about, but not too worried about. We'll just give it a little bit of space too. Doesn't need a crazy amount of space. This is the muffler, which I haven't unwrapped yet. These are the handles, which also don't need a ton of space. Muffler I could unwrap in just a second. Let's see. Let's just unwrap this really quickly. So we'll go here. We'll go edge mode. Sew this together. Let's cut here and here. Cut here and here. And then we'll cut there, or cut right there. Muffler can get shrunk down too. Just throw it in somewhere. There's the muffler. Does not need a ton of space. You can just pack it in here somewhere. Okay. So I think now we have everything unwrapped and good to go. If we wanted to, I could shrink some of this stuff down. Give the bottom of the car some more space if I really needed to. That's something I can look at more later. But right now, that's pretty good. That's packed in there fairly well. Bottom of the car doesn't have a ton of UV space, but if it's just going to be black, I'm not that worried about it getting crazy high detail there. So It's just fine. With that being said, that is it. If you want to watch this back, you can a bunch of times. We are unwrapped. That's the stage you need to be to for the next class. So, car's done, car's unwrapped. We are ready to export and start painting. So I'm going to save this now. So I'm going to do an edit, delete all by type history just to be safe because I mirrored a couple of times. And then I'm going to save this as car UV'd. We'll save this out. And we're done. Okay. I will let you guys go. I don't want to take too much more time. It was an hour-long video. Scrub through the parts that you need to watch. Okay. I appreciate y'all. Hope you have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you later. Okay. Have a good one, guys.